This is section 10.3, measures of variation in box plot. So this is going to be a little bit similar to what we did for the last section. And we need to find the range and the standard deviation. Let's flip over to our calculator. We're going to hit Stat. We're on Edit, hit Enter. And let's clear this out. I'm going to put these data pieces in. So Stat, Calculate, and we're still on one var stats. We just have the one list, we don't have a frequency list, and hit Calculate. So the range is the largest minus the smallest. So if you arrow down once you get in here, they give you the smallest. The smallest is 52, that's min x, and max x is the largest. So you would do max x minus min x, which is 57 minus 52, which is 5. So that is your range. Then they ask you for the standard deviation. That's going to be S of x. So if you look at the calculator, let's arrow back up to the top. They have S of x right here, and it's going to be 2. That's your standard deviation, is 2. An assembly line machine turns out washers with the following thickness in millimeters. Find the mean and standard deviation of the thicknesses. All right, so Stat, Edit, arrow up, hit Clear, then Enter. Order that you put these in doesn't matter. I kind of eye these. I think I got them all. So then Stat, go over to Calculate, one of our stats. We just have one list. Hit Calculate. Let's do 2 decimal places. So the mean is x with bar. No idea what this is doing. Just give it a minute to respond. All right, so x bar, and again, 2 decimal places, 1.72. That is our mean. The standard deviation is going to be S of x. Let's pull that back up. I'm going to go 2 decimal places. So 0.33. They usually want either 1 or 2 with these as far as decimal places. All right. Now we need to find the standard deviation. This is for group data. Okay, so we know there's 3 values between 0 and 19, but we don't know the actual value itself. So what we have to do is we have to find the midpoint. The frequency is going to go in L2. L1 is going to be the midpoint. So 19 plus 0 is 19. You divide that by 2. So let's do that in here. Let's do second quit. 19 divided by 2. It's going to be 9.5 is the midpoint. So we need the midpoint between 20 and 39, which is going to be, we're just going to add, the difference between here and here is 20. We keep adding 20. So once you find the first midpoint, you can just add 20. Okay. So to do that, if you wanted to do it long way, you would do 20 plus 39. Then divide that by 2, gives you 29.5. So that's how you would find the midpoint. You take 40 added to 59, divide by 2, you'll get the midpoint. But I know each interval is jumping by 20, so I can just keep adding 20. 69.5. So these are the values you're going to put into L1. Okay, and then L2 is going to be your frequency. Let's flip this over here. So we're going to hit Stat, hit Edit. I'm going to arrow up to L1, hit Clear and Enter, and then put in my midpoints. Frequency is going to go on the right. Go Stat, go to Calculate, one of our stats. And again, this one we have a frequency list, so we're going to hit Second for frequency list, and number 2, it tells us to use L2 as our frequency. And hit Calculate. So the average, let's see what they're asking for. Find the standard deviation. So that's S of X. And again, I'm going to do 2 decimal places, so 35.75. That's a large standard deviation. The mean is 62.5. Okay. Same thing here. We have a sample of 34 households from a survey, generates the following frequency table of household income in thousands. Find the mean and standard deviation. So 0 to 29. What's 29 divided by 2? Let me get off of here, second mode. Plus 0, divide by 2. So that midpoint is 14.5. It's 30, 30. You see we're adding 30, so I can just keep adding 30. So it's going to be 44.5. 4374.5. 104.5. 134.5. 164.5. I'm putting this in the calculator, just adding 30 to each one. 194.5. So we have the midpoints of each of the intervals, and that's going to go into L1. Let's get that back up over here. So Stat, Edit. And I want to clear both of these out. The midpoints of the L1. Frequency. Right. And if you look at this, most of the incomes are down here. So the average is somewhere in here. All right, so Stat, go over to Calculate, one bar stats. L2's in there. So the mean is 55.09. Again, I'm just using 2 decimal places. See what they want. They may just want 1. And the standard deviation S of X is 49.48. This is group data. You have to use the midpoint for L1. Same thing here. Okay, so we're moving by tens, but I need to find that first midpoint. This is going to be, find the median standard. The scores in individualized instruction. This is our frequency, L2. We're just going to put L1 right here. So we need to find the midpoint. So second quit. So 50 plus 59, divide that by 2. So I get 54.5 is the midpoint. And we're going by increments of 10, you see here. So we're just going to add 10. Hit the calculator. Pull this back up. So stat, we're on edit. I want to clear both L1 and L2 out because I'm starting over. The frequency is on the right. So hit stat, go to calculate 1-bar stats, and we do have a frequency list. And they want the mean. Again, I'm going to use 2 decimal places, 75.27. And it's pretty evenly distributed. It's a little more heavy right there in the middle. So say the mean 75, that's good. Standard deviation. Again, they may only ask for 1 decimal place, but I'm going to put 2, so 12.62. Just be careful what they ask for in the homework, how many decimal places. And that is it for section 10.3.